Oh, how you going, YouTube? Right, now on Windows 8 at the moment. um, what am I going to say? Now, my gaming performance has increased tenfold, to be honest. Everything I've thrown at the 101 games that I have installed on Steam all work fine, and they work quite extensively, quite well. Aside from that, there's a couple that, I have 113 games in total, so I've got a couple that I've uninstalled because I don't use them. I don't play them as much. But I have found that the entire time that I've ever been using Windows 8, my games have performed like a champion. Saying that, I just upgraded my processor, but even when I was on my old 8-core processor, they still perform like a champion. They kicked ass. Their frame rates kicked ass, everything else kicked ass in that sense. I never had much of an issue with them, you know? They were nicely flowed. Nicely fucking, playing. Whereas, I don't know, for some reason, occasionally on Windows 7, I'd have a fucking issue with frame rates. Okay, free antivirus would be the Microsoft one, which is provided with Windows 8. So if you just want basic protection, that's okay. You've got then you've got Zone Alarm, then you've got Kaspersky. That'd be the I don't know. To be honest, that'd probably be the two that I'd recommend. I mean, there is other ones out there. It's just that I know Kaspersky does actually use the sort of the same engine technically under the hood as Analan does. It's under the hood. It's more like the Kaspersky engine with a few tweaks when you're going with Zone Alarm. So basically, Kaspersky, Zone Alarm, there's not a major amount of difference because they're basically using the same engine. Well, there might be a little inherent differences with the firewall, because I'll be honest, Zone Alarm has a pretty damn strong firewall. Security Essentials is pretty cool. I mean, look, there's a few out there. I don't know. I don't like AVG personally. I don't know. I've just found their detection rate doesn't seem to be as reliable as a lot of the different companies out there these days. Avast is a free antivirus. Yeah, it's okay. It works for basic protection. But I mean, even at that, what I recommend, if you're going to go any combination, I'd go Malwarebytes in combination with Zone Alarm, because they'd be the two top of my list. I have Zone Alarm and Malwarebytes running at the moment. I got the pro version of Malwarebytes. I mean, it's your choice. I mean, you can either have the pro version or you can just run a scan with Malwarebytes every so often. What I've found though, like my my initial running games, my initial run and everything, my multitasking exponentially increased, and everything's just been really nice lately. Only thing is, occasionally my computer does run a bit hot, but it doesn't run overly hot either. I think it's because I am running two GTX 560s in SLI, so I'm gonna get a bit of a temperature. I mean, it's not actually a bad temperature. Like, I mean, my computer maximum gets up to like 54 degrees, the CPU, and most of the time it stays around 45. The video card's idle at about 40 and 40 sometimes each temperature. I mean, the inside of the case, but I've whacked a few more fans in there. I use the Corsair 610 Grape, whatever. Basically, it's what they classify as the Stormtrooper case. Yeah, I installed that. I installed my computer into that, and it runs. Yeah, it's a nice case. It's actually not a bad case. It's pretty nice. I mean, I could increase my cooling exponentially by getting something with a bigger radiator for my CPU, maybe to cool it down completely, but I don't see the point. And I'll probably upgrade the motherboard at some point, I don't know, but it's not an issue. But so far what I've used, like in the sense of games, everything else, it's been beautiful. I haven't got anything to complain about at the moment. I'm more pointing out the good stuff about some of the newer technology coming out. I will say the 8300 as a processor is smooth as a baby's backside. AMD, initially when they released the 8-core processors, they had some issues, and teething issues of course when they first released them, but the newer ones are coming out. Especially, I'm considering that the 6 cores and the 4 cores are the same. Probably have to have the change in architecture as well. They're probably, which their exact words was, they changed the die around, so things were a lot more efficient with the processor, which makes sense. But so far, what I've been looking at, and so far things have been running smooth, nicely. All my services work, and yeah, I don't know. Everything's been good lately. Now, I mean, things, as I said, these are recommended things like free antivirus. There's nothing wrong with free antivirus. Like, some of them are okay, some of them are good. Oh, I should mention also, there is also a free version of Zone Alarm Firewall Basic and Zone Alarm Antivirus, which is free. It's a free download available on the website. Which, for anybody who's on Windows 7 or earlier, I think it's Windows 7, Windows Vista, you can get that free version, and yeah, it's not as good as the paid for protection, to be honest, but much of a muchness, to be honest. But there's a free version of Zone Alarm. It's a free version now. I don't like AVG. Don't mind if asked. Kaspersky's not too bad as a paid antivirus. As I said, because Zone Alarm and Kaspersky are pretty much the same thing under the hood. McPhee and Norton, I don't know. I don't know. McPhee and Norton just, they've really let their game down lately compared to what they used to be years ago. When they first initially released, saying that, I don't know, Norton and McPhee, I mean, look, it's only because they got the big support of the corporations that they normally get the big hand in everything. But personally, I can't like Norton's and I can't like McPhee anymore because of the fact that they bloated their antivirus. Percentage of the time both of them bloated their antivirus so bad that it would cause issues with the computer running. You know what I mean? And it was just ridiculous, to be honest. Made me scratch my head, really, because I couldn't work out why you'd want to bloat the program up. I don't know. That's just me, but what else? CC Cleaner, all the freeware apps. I mean, there's a lot of freeware apps out there these days. You can go to www.9night.com, and that'll give all your freeware apps. Skype included in all your chat services and stuff. If you're going to use a messaging program, for anybody who's interested, Trillion is one I would recommend, because Trillion in itself is not a bad program. It does cover Skype, but I'll use Skype honestly because you can't do video chat. I don't think you can do video chatting in Trillion. You can only do audio chat, which I want to be able to video chat, so it's a combination for me. Trillion basically covers Yahoo, Facebook, covers everything that your MSN and your Yahoo and your MSN, well, yeah, basically everything that would be covered in your message services. It also links all those message services together under one system. So, well, that's if you get a premium version with, or I got a premium version myself. But what I've found is that with it, it's a pretty good system because basically you can have a chat on one computer and link it across to the other computer, and it's all flowed. And this includes Yahoo as well. Now, it's just easier if you're chatting or if you're switching between computers at times. and it also works on your mobile phone, your smartphone as well. Recommending an antivirus for your smartphone. Unfortunately, Zone Alarm haven't released one, but Kaspersky have. So, if you're interested in antivirus for your smartphone, you can go with Kaspersky, which is basically the same engine. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, for anybody who does use a smartphone, please, for the love of God, put some antivirus on it. I don't care what it is, just put some antivirus on it, because people are getting surprised by the fact that smartphones are able to be hacked or able to be knocked out of the running. You know what I mean? It is possible to do that to a smartphone. You know what I mean? It's possible to have a virus on a smartphone. Most people think no, it's not, but it is. I'm sorry. It's as simple as that, and it's getting easier these days, in some ways, and not in others. But yeah. What else we got? CC Cleaner, all your basic tools. I mean, if you're a WoW player, Curse Client, that's not bad. That's little additives to your game to make things a little more make things set out a little bit more easier. Magic ISO, if you're wanting to load ISOs. Handbrake if you want to do video compression. If you're trying to compress a video down to a smaller size because a program's made it too large, Handbrake is the perfect program for compressing a video. It's free also. What else? TeamSpeak's not too bad, which I mucked around a little bit. TeamViewer, which I would only recommend it to people that you I'd only recommend it. I mean, it's basically a remote control program where you can get onto computers and look and see if they have problems. But I would only recommend that you do it with somebody you trust. Don't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry on your computer. You know, I'd recommend it was to somebody because basically it's a password protected program, which the password randomly changes all the time when you want to access the person's computer, and it also lets you do repairs remotely and things like that. But I would only do it with somebody you trust. It's my recommendation. It also can be used for businesses as well. Now, the thing is, though, I have noticed some people are a bit stupid that way, where they will just let anybody get on their computer, which, yeah, it's a little, I don't know, in my opinion, that's a little risky. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can say the person's qualified, you can say the person's not just qualified, but you can also say the person, you can trust this person as well. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can't trust the person, I don't know. I just, yeah, I'd feel funny about letting them on my computer. You know what I mean? That's my personal opinion. iTunes, HTC Sync Manager for my phone. I mean, look, I know all the programs I've chucked at it so far seem to work nicely. Ventrilo, which I sort of mucked around with. I haven't got into it totally. What else? Well, I mean, as I said, there's a lot of different programs, and I use IMVU as a chat service myself. That's not too bad. What else? IMVU, Steam. I mean, nice. IMVU, Skype, and Trillion. Because I mean, if you combine it into those one categories, it's a lot harder for people to basically get at your computer, really. Especially online these days. What else? I think that's about it, really. I can't think of anything else that I need to cover. I mean, as I said, you got to be cautious these days. Also, what you click on Facebook, and this is even mentioned by Zone Alarm. Zone Alarm in themselves, right? You mean? I do apologise. I had to blow my nose. The interesting part that I found with Zone Alarm is that they point out if there's scams going on online. There's also, I think it's called hoaxes.com or something like that. I'll have to get the exact address and I'll post it in the description section. But it basically tells you all the internet hoaxes, because a lot of people don't realise that, you know, these things where you see pictures of, you know, animals and stuff abused and certain people abused. Not all of it is real. That is the problem. It's people sometimes just spreading shit and trying to get money out of people. And I know that's a sad fact, but it's true. And it's like people when they spread these hoax emails and shit like that, they are not always necessarily real. So I always check the legitimacy of all things of that description whenever I'm online, these days especially, because it's just so easy for somebody to scam you out of things these days. If you're not aware of it, or if you don't have a sense of what they classify as net street smarts, because, you know, it's like you know, not everything on the internet is real. So yeah. Alright, anyway, I'll leave it there for the moment. Do hope you you enjoy it. I enjoyed the video that I've just put up. Free antivirus. Malwarebytes is definitely on the top of my list, but I don't know. As I said, two recommendations: Malwarebytes as a scanning program to scan every so often, just to check if your system's full of, you know, general spyware and stuff. And yeah, just stuff like that. So what else we got? Yeah, so Zone Alarm, Malwarebytes, you're all set pretty much. That's my opinion, and that's, yeah. So there you go. And yeah, I don't know. As I said, so far the people I've helped on the net with stuff like this, they've remained to get an infection for a long time, unless it's some type of search engine things that's installed by a company like Conduit or these little search engine things. Because sometimes these search engine things that get installed are just background stuff that the company put in or gets tagged in because you don't read it properly. So sometimes you just got to untick it most of the time. Like, okay, when you're installing things, it's always best to read well, not read every single line, but read what you're installing and make sure you know what you're installing, because if you don't, it's just going to install extra crap in the background you don't need. So, yeah. Alright. Okay, thank you very much, YouTube. I'm probably upload this video in a little while. Okay, no problem. Bye.